All right, let's see. Kenny Omega, considered nowadays to be the best bout machine, once wrestled a 9-year-old girl in an official match. There we go.
Oh, he did this in like. What's up, and welcome to another episode of Los Wise Guys podcast. I am your host, Eslam, aka Rock Out of the Sun, accompanied by Dan, Papa Sun Killer, and Disco, aka Emperor Disco. How's
What's
it going?
up? Hope everybody had happy holidays.
Oh, yes, happy holidays to everyone, and a happy New Year, because we'll be recording next time after New Year. So, happy New Year to you
If I
all.
wish to shout that out to you people, I'll let you know at some point.
Yes. But yeah, happy New Year, happy 2023. Hopefully it's better than the last 2 years. And
I hope they had a good 2 years. Hopefully it's just as good.
yeah. Some of us it was crazy. But yeah, getting married in 2023, starting that shit off right. Whew.
So exciting. You
It's wild.
excited
I'm excited for it to be over.
Look at the excitement in that man's
for it
face.
to be over?
This shit is so stressful, son. It's like
If you could walk through a door and be done with it and have to pay 10,000 just to walk through the door, would you do it?
wait. 10,000 more than I over
On top of the wedding, but you get to be done with it. You go to the end and you're married.
I don't
and you get to go home.
I have another 10K.
Hang on,
bro.
hang on. One
Bro,
second.
like,
What
somebody
if we
give me a
add one
loan.
more? What if we add one more thing to it?
Okay.
It's everything he just said, plus you get to do teleportation.
Yes, 100%. I'll go rob a bank right now. I'll go rob a bank
You
right
will.
now.
You will find the money. You will do whatever's
Oh,
necessary.
100%.
He's
I'll
like,
go
babe, we
rob
gotta
a bank
sell
right
the
now.
wedding flowers.
If I get teleportation, yeah,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Changes everything.
Yeah, for 10K, that's a deal, bro. That's a
Right?
steal.
That's a steal
I'll pay
from
extra.
half.
Keep the change.
Yo,
And you
for
just be
real.
done with your wedding. You could just be married and go home after a honeymoon.
I just want to
That's
walk
all
through
well
the
and good with
door.
teleportation.
I want to walk through the door. It's the night of January 30th, which is the end of the reception, and that's it, Just fast forward, end of the reception, got my teleportation, we're done,
Right, you
you
can
know?
just zip right out of there.
Yeah, I'll cancel my tickets well, I can't cancel the tickets right then and then, but whatever, we can just, it is what it is, but I get teleportation. No more commuting to work. Oh my
Mhm.
lord. Oh my lord. Saves me so much time. My
Yeah.
god.
You're gonna fuck
I
around
saw
and
a
still
thing
be
on
late though.
I saw a thing on Twitter where it said, What's the first thing you would do if you gain the ability to fly?" And I literally just said, "See if I could trade it in for teleportation." Because who gives a shit about flying? I always hate where like, "Oh, I wish I could fly." Like that's always the dream. It's like people are dumb back in the day. Like who cares?
That would
I
be
mean,
terrible. A bird would fly and the air pressures would kill us, the coldness. Like there's so
Even
many
that, it's just
well,
factors.
lame.
I mean,
It's
You
the
need like a
lame power.
bodysuit.
if you're technically teleportation could kill you too, right? But if it the I guess the caveat is if you're getting the power, you're also getting the ability to handle that power. So if you're getting flight, you'll be able to handle whatever adversities that come with
I don't
flight.
know. It
So
did
you
it
tell me,
happen for My Hero Academia for Dobby. He had super fire, but it burned him.
well, those powers came with a weakness, right?
Mhm.
What? So teleportation, you're pretty much you're breaking the fabric of space time. How is your body gonna handle that?
You're right.
How is your body gonna handle going through a wormhole? All right?
See, I'm not even worried about that. My thing is just
Let
flying
alone
is
make it.
stupid.
Yeah.
Flying is legit just dumb. Like that's really it's not the any of
I
the
mean,
signs or you have to learn how to do it. Flying is
I
just
be
stupid.
pulling muscles in my sleep. Like, you think I'm gonna survive teleportation? Like that, we have to get an extra caveat of like, just hey, you'll be able to survive this. Your body will be fine. It'll just be like walking through a door.
I'm gonna need like a landing device because I already know if I got flying powers, I'm gonna bust up my ankles so bad
I
trying to
need
land.
I
I'm
need a
Who
past
said that?
30.
Who
I
said that
can't.
you're flying at fast speed? Who said that maybe you're just flying as fast as you can walk,
oh,
or
that
you're
would-
flying
Oh god.
like at that point it's just like teleportation means teleportation. Flying could be
yeah.
a bunch of things.
God,
You can fly
flying.
as fast as your fastest speed at running, and you're gonna be
Oh,
just as tired when you get there. You're gonna be all sweaty.
Oh, that
Oh
would
god.
suck so much.
You know what I'm saying?
That would suck so much.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong with flying. Teleportation, I understand. It might screw you up, this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, you're still teleporting. You're going to instantly show up at this other place. Whatever happens, happens. Flying, there's a bunch of things that could go with it.
Fuck, man.
Also,
Flying sucks.
teleportation, there are some caveats because what if you can't control your destination? And
Yeah.
so you can teleport, but you're like in Africa now, or like in the middle of the ocean, under the ocean, in a volcano.
Done.
Like, what if you decide to fly, but like go really high, and if you're getting tired, you get tired. Like, you know how when you're running, you just stop. If you stop flying, you just fall to your
You're just
death.
going to fall.
That's wild.
No.
I
My
hope you have a
God,
parachute.
for real. Well, that's none of this is our main topic, so let's
Not
jump
at all.
into the main topic. It was a
Not
cool
at all.
conversation, though.
See,
It
this is
started.
something we could come back to on a
It
regular basis.
started.
Flying versus teleportation.
It started with me getting married, and it ended up with us flying and teleporting places.
Oh,
So
man.
I love how our minds work, but
Once you enter that what if like territory, it's a slippery slope. It's
You
just
never know
like
where it's going to go. You never know it's going to go. And are you going to get tired when you get there, you know?
well, I'm tired now.
Oh,
um,
man. All right, so I guess you want me to talk about what we're doing today?
yes, sir.
All right, so we are bringing back Kayfabe Corner. Um, we're doing a special version of Kayfabe Corner. So we've done the whole where I give you guys wrestling terms, and you guys give me the answer, and I give whoever's closest the point. Right? We've done Kayfabe Corner where I do the Japanese names edition,
Yep.
where I tell you a Japanese name or a name of a Japanese wrestler actually, and then you tell me if that's a real person or if it's not a real person. So I figured let's do a different version of kayfabe. Let's do another one where I'm going to be talking about the in most insane moments in wrestling history, and you guys have to tell if they're real or not.
Okay.
Because wrestling has had a lot of crazy moments. A lot of these things are going to sound way over the top, and they're going to be real. Some of the things I'm going to make up, and you're going to think, "Oh, that's real," and it's not. So we got to do that, and you guys got to figure out which ones are actually happened and which ones are just a figment of my imagination.
Nice. I like this new spin on kayfabe corner. This is gonna be awesome.
it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait.
So, you guys ready?
Oh, let's do this, baby.
Now, first off, just to ease you guys into it, this one's going to be kind of like the Japanese name format.
Okay.
So, first off, I'm going to give you a name, and I'm going to kind of explain this character a little bit. You guys will tell me if it's real or not. So, Daryl Takahashi. Daryl Takahashi is a stuffed cat animal that's part of Los Ingobernables de Japón in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Is this real or fake?
Why is there Mexicans in New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Well, who said there was Mexicans?
Can you say that? That name sounded like Latino.
He
Oh,
said
it's a Spanish
Daryl.
name. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a Mexican name.
Daryl Takahashi is Spanish.
No, Los Ingobernables de
Oh,
Japón
oh, okay, yeah,
is the
that's
name of the
fine.
fashion.
Okay. I was just still stuck on the name Daryl Takahashi. I was just all the way in the beginning, still like Daryl Takahashi. That's some bull. That sounds fake.
um.
So Daryl Takahashi, a stuffed cat animal or stuffed animal cat, however you prefer, as a member of Los Ingobernables de Japón.
See, the thing that's throwing me off is like I feel like this is real, and it's throwing me off because it's like this Latino like group name with like a half black, half Japanese stuffed animal cat name.
Just listen to what you
Darrell.
just said.
Daryl Takahashi.
Everybody go back, rewind like 30 seconds, and listen to that sentence. That's what you get here at the LWG podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Like,
Tell your friends.
I wish there was a real Daryl Takahashi, bro. That'd be so
Is
goddamn.
it real or
We'll
is it
find
fake?
out. We'll find
I'm
out.
gonna say it's real.
I'm
gonna
gonna
say
say
it's
it's
real.
fake because I don't believe Daryl Takahashi is a real person or cat,
Mhm,
plushie,
Stuffed
whatever
cat
thing.
animal.
mhm. So, Eslam, you say it's real.
Yeah.
Disco, you say it's fake. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share my screen, and we'll know.
Is that Daryl Takahashi?
That is Daryl Takahashi.
I knew. Oh,
If you're listening
man.
to the
Well, I'll
podcast
be-
version of this, definitely check out the YouTube version. I got some fun stuff here for you.
Oh my
Daryl just
goodness.
waving at the people.
It's like an Asian dude waving a little cat plushy hand at the crowd, like
Yeah.
it's so cute but
That's
stupid at
Hiromu
the same.
Takahashi.
Oh, okay,
Daryl
that
was
makes
once
sense.
attacked and ripped into pieces by the Road General Bad Luck Fale, and he was put back together. And there might be a Daryl Takahashi Jr. now. I'm not 100%
Oh
sure.
man,
Damn.
that's hilarious.
But yeah, so Daryl Takahashi. I don't have anything to keep points. Do one of you guys have a thing to keep score? I don't
Sure,
have
I'll
anything
do it.
with me.
I'm writing it down.
Appreciate
Okay.
that. So
All right,
Eslam
so
1,
Disco got it.
Disco 0. All right, so next one. Let's bring it up. Let's get a little bit American wrestling in there. Now, tell me
Okay.
if this really happened or if it's fake. Once during a match in Germany, Mick Foley had his eye pop out of his socket. He had to push it back in and continue wrestling.
Since you said it's Mick Foley, I completely believe that would happen because Mick Foley was a crazy person. He literally, I remember seeing him jumping off that cage.
Well, he was thrown
Uh,
off the cage, but yeah,
well,
but
yeah,
thrown off that
whatever.
ramp.
And landed through like the announcer table or some shit like
Yep,
that.
yep.
I
As God
remember.
is my
Man,
witness, he's broken in half. He's dead.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I
it's
was he did
no,
he get a
knowing
piece of
Mc,
his ear ripped off or something?
in that match, he got thrown off the cell and he was carried. They started carrying him off backstage. Then he got up off the stretcher, climbed back up the cell, where Undertaker put him through the cage, where he landed on a chair, and then he had a tooth fall in his nose,
Nice.
and he lost.
So yes, I
that's
I do
skills.
believe that would happen to Mick Foley, even though you might
Man,
have completely made it up, because it would sound
it
believable.
it sounds
But
so wild, but just knowing McFoley, it could be true. I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna
this is
say
a
it's
good
true.
trick.
It
If it
is,
is
yeah.
fake, this is a really good fake.
Mhm.
You know your stuff, my man. You know your stuff. But I'm gonna say
Yeah.
it's real.
And Disco.
I'm gonna say it's real too.
Okay, so Esla, I remember before we started recording, and I said how much. What is too graphic?
Oh, okay, okay. I
What is
get
too
you now.
graphic?
Fuck it. Show it.
You sure? Should I
Show
show
it.
this?
Show it.
Let's say a
Let's do it.
warning first.
You're
Warning, you're
yeah.
about
So
to see some dude's
it's
eye
warned.
pop
There's
out.
a warning. There's some crazy stuff. But I do want to say that. So you both said it was real, right?
Yes.
Yep.
You're both 100% wrong. It was
God
not
damn
Mick
it.
Foley. It was Vader.
Oh, oh, it was someone else whose eye popped out. See, I knew it was like it happened,
So
but
you can't see it too well. This did happen in Japan. He wrestles with a mask. The mask did. He did have to remove it. Sorry, it's like a gift that replays. So
yeah,
I'll wait for it to go back. So you can't see it too well, but you can see the eyes kind of messed up. He pushes it back in, sort of, and then his eyelid is screwed up. They ended up having to put a plate under his eye, which many years later got dislodged, and he was bleeding insanely.
yeah, I see his eye, but no, you couldn't even
Oh
see
man, that's
anything.
crazy.
I mean, I
Yeah, you
see
can
his
barely see it.
I see his eye shut. I didn't see the eye
No,
pop out or
that first part definitely had it like hanging though. I felt like dangling.
really. I couldn't see it. Also, I'm
I'll let it go
blind,
one more
so
time. It's not dangling much.
No,
It's like a
I
little
guess
bit.
not.
It's a little mini dangle, and then he gets it back in there.
I couldn't see the dangle. My eyes
No,
are shit. So,
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess I don't see shit. I
yeah.
thought
but
It
I
wasn't
could,
nothing like crazy.
but you could definitely see his eye like swollen and shut because of
yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy, man. These wrestlers really go through it, like
Now,
for
there's a
real.
couple of backstory things I want to mention real quick. So the guy, this is Big Van Vader, legend. Sadly, he's passed away. Um, Vader, you know how Mick Foley only has the one ear?
Yeah,
Vader, the guy who has his eye screwed up here, he's the guy that ripped Foley's ear off.
nice.
And the guy that messed up his eye right there was Stan Hansen, who people have said for years jokingly, like, Stan Hansen's blind. They don't know why they let him wrestle. He's like an amazing wrestler, and his finisher was like he'd hit you with the hardest clothesline, but this man's just swinging. He can't see,
It's like to
so
the
hence
left,
the eye.
to the left. Oh
You messed
man.
him up pretty good. That must have
Oh
been so painful.
yeah,
What do you even like? Your eyeballs just like like
yeah.
your
And that's
first
like later
instinct is
on
just
in
keep
WWE, the
character.
yeah
It's
in
totally
WWE the plate
badass.
got removed, and then he just started bleeding profusely from his eye years later.
Did he die from
Um,
it?
what's that?
Did that kill him or was it?
No, he ended up living a
I see.
long time after that. He died afterward. I believe he got sick after he was retired and everything.
Hmm.
But Big Van Vader, he was also the dad in Boy Meets World for that one kid that went to school with them. Remember their dad was a wrestler? That's him,
The poor one?
Cool.
the fat kid. Next one.
Oh.
Oh, the bully.
He was one of the bullies. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay, okay. I remember
yeah.
now.
He's like really fit now.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
actor. All right. So the next one, there is a Ric Flair impersonator. Not impersonator, a parody. Thank you. A Ric Flair parody that's based off of cheese puns, and his name is Ricotta Flair. Ricotta
Oh,
Flair.
is this real or not?
Is it real or not?
I guess I'm just gonna be saying yes to everything. Cause this shit, this in wrestling, I could see that. Because wasn't there like the four cheese horsemen or some shit like that?
You
Ricotta
you know
Flair.
more than me, but my first inclination was to say it's fake. That's
I could have
oh,
sworn there was like
ricotta flair.
Ricotta
I
Flair.
could have swore there was like a parody of like the four horsemen about like cheese. Like Dan spoke about it once. I don't know why I remember this, and it's probably because I like cheese. But or I could be making it completely up. So I'm just gonna say yes, it's real.
All right. So that's a yes and a no.
Yep.
All right. All right. You guys got the score and everything, right? You got it there, Disco.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm ready.
it's
Ready to go.
first one. Yeah, it's like one zip so far.
Oh yeah, you're up one.
Okay. So let's see. Ricotta Flair. Is it real or is it fake? Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're watching on YouTube because it is real. Ricotta Flair
Yep.
is a real thing.
Oh my
Wow,
god.
that's incredible.
So was I right about the four horsemen thing?
My next question is, now that we know that there's a real Ricotta Flair, is there a faction called the Four Cheese Horsemen?
Yes, I feel like this is why I heard this before. The four cheese horsemen.
I'm gonna follow his lead. He sounds pretty sure about that.
Final
Watch me
answer.
be wrong. So yes.
I actually don't have an image ready, so I'm like just buying time to see.
The four cheese horsemen. Who else would be? Who was in the original four horsemen? Ric Flair.
Swiss cheese
So
labyrinth.
so you have Ric Flair, Arn Anderson,
Okay.
Ole Anderson, Tully Blanchard. Those are the original Four Horsemen.
Okay, I'm
Later on,
trying to
they've had
think of cheese pun names for them, and I cannot come up with anybody. Um,
All right, so you're both gonna go with yes. There is a faction called the Four Cheese Horse.
yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow.
All right, so you're wrong. They're
Damn.
actually called the Fromage Horsemen.
The fromage horseman.
Yes.
Yeah, cheese in French. That's a technicality. We should get that.
specifically stated, is there a faction called the Four Cheese Horsemen multiple times, and you said yes every single time. You're wrong.
I hate you. I hate you.
I
I love
invented
cheese,
Kayfabe
but I
Corner,
hate you.
goddammit. So the members of the Four Cheese Horsemen, and if you want, I'll get you an image. I think I just had one, and I deleted it. But we have so Ricotta Flair, Ric Flair.
Okay.
Arn Anderson is Parm Anderson.
Parm Anderson. That's actually
Ole
really
Anderson is Gorgonzola Anderson.
good.
Tully Blanchard is Tully Blancheddar.
Okay, that one's good too. Parm
And,
Anderson is really good.
Yeah. And they come out with a. I'm glad you approved. And they occasionally come out with a. Let me see if I can get this for you.
Chicken parm sandwich.
I don't know if this is the original one for you. Here, I
A
go,
wheel of
image.
cheese.
Do they all have outfits?
Some Gouda.
There you go. I don't know if that's the original right there. But there is they do get accompanied by a valet who, when she comes out, her name is Baby Bell.
A Baby Bell. Okay, that's a good one. Baby Bell tastes really good though.
Some cheese heads. So they just kick ass in those cheese heads.
Yeah, it's part of this promotion called Wrestling Pro Wrestling, where it's just nonsense. Because Ric Flair and Sting had a big feud back in the day. So here,
Yeah.
Ricotta Flair goes up against String, the man called String.
String cheese. Yeah. I love it, bro.
It's
This
one
is
of my
amazing.
favorite promotions. I
It's
love
so
this promotion
goddamn
so
funny.
much. But yeah, so
It's crazy as
the
hell.
Fromage Horseman.
The fromage
So
horseman.
what's the score right now, guys?
Omelette. You know why?
That's
The
almost
only
true.
reason
Omelette
I
du
know
fromage.
fromage is
Yep.
cheese in French is because of Dexter. Omelette du fromage. Omelette with cheese.
Yep. Omelette du.
Yeah.
Oh, Dexter. I love that episode It's so funny.
It's so good. I loved our cartoons back in the day.
Uh, it's so good. All right, next up here. Let's see. Vince McMahon planned on doing a live sex celebration with Lita.
Yes,
Vince
because I remember
McMahon
there was
live
a
sex
bed in the
celebration with
middle
Lita.
of a bed in the middle of the ring, and like yes, yes,
I'm
I
gonna say
remember
yes
this.
because I feel like those early 2000s they could have definitely like got away with that shit or tried to at least.
Yes, I remember. I remember this.
So, because of the context, I don't have an image,
Okay.
but you're both wrong. Uh,
Fuck.
it was Edge and Lita's live sex celebration, not Vince
Oh, okay.
McMahon's.
Ooh. I could see Vince
I
doing
still
it.
remember it was there,
He
and I
thought
was
about it.
right. It just wasn't Vince. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I get half a point for that.
no, no,
Damn it. A quarter of a point.
no. We don't do those here.
You suck.
We don't do those here. I think you're still in the lead though. By what? By one?
I two.
No, he's up
Two.
too. Still, I haven't got
Okay.
any.
All right. So next one. Let's see. So there. Okay. So former porn star turned WWF wrestler, what's it
You
called?
about to say Vince McMahon?
I was about to say Vince McMahon. Val
Former
Venus,
porn star.
former porn star turned wrestler.
Vince
Not a
McMahon.
real porn star. Val Venus. Once planned on. Once made an image as part of the kayfabe of his thing. There was this fake porn film called "Shaving Ryan's Privates," starring the sister of former UFC heavyweight champion Kem Shamrock, who was also in WWF at the time. Is this
See
real
now,
or fake?
I feel like this is something you've also talked about before. It's just like you just literally change one thing, and you're like, oh, you guys got it wrong. Like, but yes, it's real. I'm
Disco.
so mad.
It felt a little too elaborate, so I'm gonna say it's not real.
All right, so I don't have an image for this one due to same reasons, but it is 100% real.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Yeah.
No, you got that one. Staying with Val Venus. So this is another one where
Fake.
uh, Val Venus Val Venus once was in a feud with a Yakuza faction called Kaientai, where he seduced the leader's wife, to which the leader then was very upset, had a katana, and quoted to, or he said he was going to quote, choppy choppy his pee pee.
Yes. This is real. Yes. Yes. 100%. This is real.
It's everyone just sounds
Once he said
like
choppy
the crazy
choppy, yes.
bullshit, but
This
it
is
also knowing wrestling, it's like
This is 100% real.
This is why I say wrestling's the greatest thing ever, because you don't anything, literally anything can happen.
I'm gonna say fake because I wouldn't fuck with the Yakuza, but who knows? Maybe wrestling will.
Nah, but they're gonna choppy choppy his pee pee. So yes,
Just so
this is
you're
real.
aware, in the reality of it all, wrestling and the Yakuza have a very long history in Japan together.
Oh,
That's a
interesting.
legit fact.
So it was like a real Yakuza, not like
This was
fake.
not a real Yakuza.
No, no,
This
no.
is
This is
real, by the way.
WWE. Yeah.
This is WWE.
Oh, so it's people pretending to be Yakuza.
These
Yeah, yeah.
people, yeah, the image I'm showing here. So, once again, if you guys are not watching the YouTube version,
That's. I like how you put your what is that called? Your Bitmoji in there.
yeah, that's fun.
Very nice.
And the wife is in the background, like, oh
Yeah.
no, like
She's,
look
like,
at it,
Help
it's
reaching
so
for his
me.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, the storyline goes that he did chop it off, but they didn't get it off all the way, and they were able to surgically repair it,
Okay.
and he continued doing his porn.
Man's penis was too strong.
Yeah, yeah, and then Kai and Tai didn't really do much else. They were kind of gone shortly after that.
Nice.
So we do have that. Let's see.
So that
Okay,
was real.
It's
That
really
was
weird
real.
how my memory works.
Yeah, you're remembering
Okay, yeah.
a lot today.
Yeah.
So that sounds 4 and I'm 0. He's taking
Goddamn.
away.
All right, let's see. Kenny Omega, considered nowadays to be the best bout machine, once wrestled a 9-year-old girl in an official match.
See, now I feel like this is real, but where it comes to the question is if it was either the age or the gender of the girl. like if it was like a boy, or if the age was actually 9. Because he could be like, oh, it was actually 8.
I'm gonna say fake because of child labor laws. Let's try to use
Nah,
some logic here.
nah, it's not labor. It's entertainment, and plus, if it's child labor laws, then we wouldn't have the Disney Channel. So I'm gonna say yes. This is real.
Hmm. What was it again? He wrestled a 9-year-old girl.
Kenny
Yeah.
Omega, the best
A
bout
dude,
machine,
a whole
considered one
ass
of,
dude
if not
wrestled a
the
little
greatest,
girl.
best wrestler in the world today. Early on in his career, did wrestle a 9-year-old girl in an official match. Is this real or not?
Yes, real.
I
One
feel like
hundred
it was a
percent real.
charity event, if anything. I don't know. Damn.
Watch it be fake, and it's just the numbers off. I swear to God, the numbers gonna. Ooh, ooh, I'm
I'm
gonna be
gonna I'm
so
Look
gonna
at him
pissed,
say
say
bro.
ooh. Look at
I'm
him say
gonna say
ooh.
fake
Bro,
because
I'm gonna be so pissed.
I feel like it's not fair to wrestle a 9-year-old girl.
All right.
Nah, man.
Answers are locked in.
Yeah,
So I'm saying fake. You're saying real, Eslam?
yeah, real.
All right.
All right, we're locking it in.
Good.
Let's watch
Better
this
be.
image. One of my
Better have
favorites.
been.
So the clip's gonna come up soon. There we go.
Oh, he did this in like Japan Pro Wrestling.
Damn.
Jesus Christ! God damn, bro.
This is Stardom Pro Wrestling. This is actually the all women's promotion.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
But in Japan.
in Japan, yeah.
Oh, this is awesome. She's good, man.
She's really
She
selling
played
it.
that really good.
Oh, dude, this is just one clip. If you, I highly recommend people go on YouTube and literally type in Kenny Omega versus 9-year-old girl. She's solid. Like,
Does
like
she,
she's
got a
not
future.
does she
bad.
still wrestle today?
I believe not. But the thing is, in Japan, it's very common for them to start at an extremely young age. So that's just normal. A 9-year-old wrestling is normal. Hence why they're so damn good at it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't understand what the issue would be with them starting young if that's what they want to do. I mean, like, look at the actors. As long as they're protected and, you know, um,
I can
She's
never
having the
not
time
laugh
of
at
her
those.
life.
Yeah, he does that. He does the backbreaker. And what he's doing there, where he's putting his hands up like that, he's getting ready to throw her out of the ring.
Gotta give the crowd what they want.
God
Maybe
damn.
we could do that one day. We could just watch these stupid matches and just react to them.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. I would love to watch this one.
Because, no,
Uh,
there's a lot of weird matches like this that I know about that I think
Yeah.
you guys would find very entertaining.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we
All right,
got the Kenny Omega one.
let's do one more, and then we can jump on to our other stuff.
Sure thing. Let me.
Because there's no way Disco's catching up at this point.
Yeah,
No,
at this
yeah,
point. Yeah.
I should have just said all real like you. You got like most of them real.
A lot of these things are real. Let me see. What's a good one? What's a good one to end on? Okay, there was a storyline. This one I'm not going to have an image for because of the context. There was a storyline in WWE where Stephanie McMahon was pregnant,
hmm
and we were led to believe that the father was either her father, Vince McMahon,
Oh,
or her
Lord.
brother, Shane McMahon.
Why? Why WWE? Why or
Is this
WWF?
real? Is this real or not?
I feel like it's not. Hmm. I feel. Hmm.
I'm gonna say it's not real. I'm gonna stay true to all my other answers. I'm not trusting
It's been
apparently.
working
I,
out.
I feel. I feel
Just
like
felt-
it is real. It's not Vince or Shane. Cause I don't know, cause they were like family friendly, so I don't know if they would do incest. That would be really weird, unless they were having like a show in Alabama. But um, I don't know.
To people listening in Alabama, thank you.
Ah man, I'm just, you know what? Screw it. I've been doing good so far. I'm just gonna say it's real, but I have a feeling it's fake.
All right, so Eslam says it's real. Disco says it's fake. Like
I
the
feel like
entire
it's
game so
fake is just like just the wrong people. It's two other. But yeah, go ahead.
far. It's fake.
Yeah.
This storyline was planned but never executed.
Ah, okay, there it is.
Got my
But
first
that was
point.
legit. Yeah,
Coming
that was
back.
legit.
At
going
least
to
you
happen.
at least you
Biggest
didn't get
upset.
at least you
Yeah,
didn't
you
end
get
it
shut
with a
out.
0. Yeah, you put some points up on the scoreboard. But man, oh, that was crazy.
I want to do something real quick. I do want to show you one more image without any context for a
Okay.
question I could have asked. I'm literally just gonna play it, and I'm not gonna say anything. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yep.
Is he fighting a ghost? What?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he is fighting a ghost.
No. No.
What? Wait.
please,
There's a
please,
shadow.
if you're on the listening to us, just please go check out the YouTube
What
version
is
of this.
happening?
There's like a
Okay.
ref looking at a
Let
board,
me
and
zoom in for
then
you.
the
That
board
zooms in bad.
snaps, and the ref like frog jumps at it. Like I don't know what's happening. Trying to describe
Do
this
you
scene.
guys want the context?
Yes.
How is the table breaking? Like,
Can you
is
ask
that
the question?
Ask the question.
Yeah.
How did I word the question? I forgot to put it in here completely. So I just had the image. So basically, there was a match between the Invisible Man and his brother Invisible Stan,
Oh, Lord.
which is real.
Yeah,
As you
I
can
can
see.
see that. Oh,
Yes.
does he have the glasses on to make so he can see
So
them?
he can see the wrestlers exactly.
Okay.
And this
Bec-
was an amazing match. If we ever did, like we're talking about reacting to videos, this is one video I would highly recommend. Where Bryce Remsburg, the referee, gives one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my life.
My God,
uh,
is there? I mean, other than like the Hall of Fame, is there like a wrestling award show?
well, I mean, WWE does have the Slammies.
Okay. My God, some of these deserve some, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, man. There's this. There was the one I was really, really looking for was the Iron Man heavy metal weight championship. There's one video specifically. So there's this title in Japan for DDT Pro Wrestling, where it's pure chaos. Like 1,000 people have held this title. Once it was held by a dog that pinned a ladder that had beaten some wrestler for it. Once this dude lost it in a dream. Once an
What?
entire an
A
entire
dog
audience.
pinned a ladder and
Yeah,
oh, Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
That
I'm not
ladder is a three-time champion, by the way, and one of my favorite matches is the ladder where it was defending it up against an up-and-coming table. It was a rising table, rising superstar, and legit, there's a video of people surrounding a ladder and a table that's just sitting there, and
Bro,
everybody's cheering.
how high do wrestling fans get? I don't
It's
understand this.
You don't need it, man. You don't need it. It's just that entertaining. You have that.
Jeez.
It's incredible. That ladder. I was when I was trying to find the video because they took it off of YouTube. They did have a thing on Twitter where the ladder retired and they threw a ceremony for it.
They need to make a documentary for that ladder.
The ladder retired. Oh my God.
It's great, man.
It puts
And once the title
it
won
put down
the
its
title
steps.
itself.
It retired and put down its steps. Now it's just stilts.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. Like the one time the title, the wrestler who won the match, he was laying there. I forget how the title landed on top of him. So the referee pinned to 3, so the title became the champion. So it won itself, and it was the 1,000th champion.
Wow.
Once people were fighting, they left the arena. They came back 2 weeks later and finished the
I
fight.
just wanna be a fly on the wall in the
Mhm.
writers' room when they were coming up with this, and then went and pitched it to their boss or whatever.
Yeah, man,
That's just ridiculous. Oh my
highly
goodness.
entertaining.
Yes,
Highly entertaining.
this was highly entertaining. Oh my
But
goodness.
congrats to Eslam. That was one hell of a job.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm glad
I
your
am
memory
so
worked.
yeah, I look what I can
Yeah.
do when it does work.
I mean, of all things to use your memory for, it was this.
Watch, I'm gonna be like I'm just gonna get Alzheimer's tomorrow. Like I'm just gonna be gone.
You strained yourself way too
Yeah.
hard.
He used all his memory.
I used all my
there was a
memory
bed
for
in the ring and there was a
2023.
live sex celebration.
Yeah. I remember that because I remember the bed in the middle of the ring,
Yep,
and I remember like Lita, she was in lingerie, I think.
yep.
And yeah, so I remember that.
Yeah, it was just Edge, not
Yeah.
Vince. With Vince, it was the Kiss My Ass Club.
Yes, he wanted to. I remember Vince wanted
Multiple people.
uh Trish
Yeah.
Stratus to do the Rakishi move, where he puts the ass in
Yes.
the
Well,
face.
yeah, because The Rock came out to rescue Trish, and he was like,
Yeah,
"No, you got to kiss ass." And then he's like, "All right, let's do it." And that's where he's like, "Get in the corner." And then he's like, "Shut your eyes." And then he gets Trish out of there, and then Rikishi came out,
yeah.
and he just shoved Vince's face
He's
into
the stank
Rikishi's
face, right?
stink face. Well, it was the deepest stink face ever.
I
But
know.
then once they did put Shane's face into Vince's ass, I think, and then a Vince into Big Show. There was a lot of faces going in the asses.
Nice,
Watch
nice.
wrestling, guys.
Yes. Yes. Speaking of wrestling, let's jump into Powerbomb Weekly.
Let's do it. So, Power Bomb Weekly. I lost our video. Where are we? Okay, there we go. So let me share my screen. So yeah, I've been trying to do this Power Bomb Weekly for a little bit now. Every time I try, it screws up. So I'm fully expecting it to mess up now. All right, so Eslam, I have it as a window. All right, so I'm gonna share the window. There we go. So let me open that up. Now I don't have the news article in front of me, so this is gonna be interesting.
Okay. Oh, you all right,
How do
that's
I
fine.
do that?
Do present
Where?
up there by next to share.
Top
There
right.
it is.
Yeah.
Present. Sweet, thank you. All right, so absolutely insane amount of money Mandy Rose has made with exclusive content revealed. This is a Wrestle Talk story by Liam Winnard. So basically, long story short, Mandy Rose, she recently got fired from NXT. She was like NXT champion for like over a year, I think,
Hmm.
women's champion. You know, a solid wrestler. You know, she's getting better and everything. And apparently, it was leaked on Twitter that she had not an OnlyFans. It was some other not OnlyFans thing where she was like doing content there. And looks like WWE found out and they released her. There's a little bit more that went into context. It wasn't. They're claiming that it wasn't so much that they released her because of she was doing that. It's because of what she was doing on that. They said it was like way, way, way over the top. So once that got out there, they released her, and I don't have the article in front of me, but of course they stated that yeah, she's actually doing pretty okay with it. She's making a lot. I believe they said
Yeah.
by the end of the year she was supposed to be making like if not like a million, like close to it,
1 million?
Wow.
something like that. I don't remember the
Oh,
exact
all
number.
right. Yeah, no,
She's
that's
better off
for
doing that. Shoot.
for her popularity. She should be making a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever heard of Mandy Rose?
No,
Exactly, and she was on NXT, which
but
let's be real, a
for
lot of people don't watch NXT, and I'm
okay,
talking wrestling fans.
yeah. I mean,
You know,
if she was in front of more wrestling fans, she'd be making
yeah.
millions, easy, multiple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she used to be on like Raw and SmackDown, but she was like never like a played a major part there. They put her in some storylines, and then they're like, you know, let's put her in NXT, and she became like the top female in NXT. But sadly, like I said, nobody.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, most wrestling fans, WWE fans, watch Monday Night Raw, and that's it. Like they're just now starting to discover, oh, there's this thing called SmackDown. So yeah, NXT really doesn't get watched, but you know, power to her. She's making a lot of money doing this. If she wants to continue wrestling somewhere else, I'm sure she can, but it looks like she really doesn't need to. Um, So next up, popular AEW star admits he's sad about William Regal departure. This is
Mm.
by Sanchez Taylor, also on Wrestle Talk. Please go on their site, check this out. So William Regal, and all this time I haven't been able to do wrestling news. William Regal has left AEW, and he is going back to WWE. So
Mm.
the whole thing was he they did the storyline where he helped MJF beat John Moxley. He turned on his own faction that he created, and then shortly after MJF turned on him, William Regal was rushed to the hospital just so he could be written off TV. What happened there was William Regal has a son who's wrestling in NXT, who's a young up and comer. He's pretty solid, and Regal kind of just wants to be there, you know, working with his son. And now that Triple H is kind of running things, he and William Regal, you know, Triple H and William Regal, they have a great working relationship, and he wants to be back under, you know, Triple H's regime. So he spoke to Tony Khan, head of AEW, spoke to him and said, "Hey, this was when Tony Khan apparently his mother was in the hospital, and Regal was saying, listen, I know you want to be by your mom at this moment, and I'm in the same boat where I want to be by my son.
Yeah.
So if you can, please let me out of my contract. I want to make sure my son does well, and I want to be there for him in this other company." Tony Khan granted that to him, and he said, "All right, thank you for what you've done here. You're good to go." So I think the way the contract works is he's able to go to WWE, but he's not allowed to do any like TV stuff. I think for like a year, maybe a little over a year, but he can do backstage stuff in the meantime.
Okay.
So
I mean,
in the end,
honestly,
yeah,
from a business perspective, he didn't have to do that, but it's nice that he did. So
yeah,
shout out to him. Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, I feel like everybody involved was pretty good. Like Triple H wins because he gets William Regal.
Yeah.
Regal wins because he's happy, and Tony Khan's coming out looking like a good guy. And
Yeah.
I feel like in the end it works out for everybody. Sad to see William Regal leave AEW. Loved him there. But seeing him go to back to WWE and having him work back on NXT, hopefully, oh my God, that was like he was one of the best parts of NXT.
How come his son didn't come to AEW?
He's got a contract in WWE.
No, I get that part. But like in the beginning, why didn't he? Or was WWE not around when his son was wrestling?
No, his son's like this young kid who's like still learning. Like his son just started getting on TV a little while ago. No, it's just he probably had better opportunity in WWE. Like
Mm.
most
Okay.
people are still gonna, if they have the option, they're gonna pick WWE over AEW.
Okay.
You know, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, you want to go there, and Triple H is gonna take care of William Regal's son. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that. Let's see. Next news story. Amanda Savage, Wrestle Talk. So she wrote a story about when Sasha Banks is headed to Japan ahead of Wrestle Kingdom 17. So another thing that's going on. So way back, I talked about how Sasha Banks and Naomi, women's tag team champions at the time, uh, handed in their titles and said, "We're walking out. We don't want to be here anymore." They left WWE. Months later, we're talking about Sasha Banks potentially going to wrestle in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is insane because they don't even have a women's division.
Hmm.
So they do have like a women's title because they formed a partnership with Stardom, where you guys just saw the video of Kenny Omega assaulting a child, and with that, supposedly Sasha Banks is going to be part of their show. We'll see. I know that they put images of her training with people in Mexico, and she's copyrighted different names. Her real name being Mercedes Bernardo, I believe. I don't have it in front of me, but she's been copywriting names such as Money Monet or Mercedes, stuff along those lines, like that involve money, like because her name's Banks. So looks to be like she's going to potentially show up at Wrestle Kingdom 17, which is the biggest show in Japan. That's their WrestleMania. So seeing Sasha Banks over there with their style of wrestling and her style of wrestling, that's just going to mesh extremely well. So very, very much look forward to seeing that. So hopefully she shows up there soon and this is all real. And yeah, man, if you want to see the stories as to when she's supposed to get there and everything, definitely check out this news article by Amanda Savage on Wrestle Talk. And last one here. There's a media expert that predicts that this company, it's NBC Universal, will be purchasing WWE in the near future. Story by Sanchez Taylor on Wrestle Talk. So there's a analyst, once again, not in front of me here, who claims that NBC is going to end up purchasing WWE. So NBC currently has the rights for Monday Night Raw and NXT, which are on USA. Fox is the one who's showing SmackDown currently. These contracts are about to end. Now, I remember a few years ago, Fox paid a lot to get SmackDown, and WWE's been making SmackDown a very prominent show, more so than they've ever done before. So I'm sure now NBC probably wants to put the money down, see if they could get Fox, and if they're willing to do that, why not try to buy the whole thing? So this guy's claiming that they're already on Peacock, which is owned by NBC. They already have two of their three cable programs on their network. So why not just buy the whole thing and own it? So that's something we could look at. And we know that what's his name? Not Tony Khan, the other one, the one who was releasing everybody for the past like 2 years. He is one of the two heads of WWE now. He and Stephanie McMahon. So who's to say he isn't going to be willing to sell? Well, Stephanie, I don't know. But with that happening, there's rumors that Vince McMahon might be showing up soon. There's a lot going on in wrestling, but as of right now, we don't really know. But that's all I have for wrestling. It's good to do Kayfabe Corner. It's been a minute, and yeah, man, that's what I have. Definitely go on the Wrestle Talk and check out these stories. All right,
Nice,
good?
nice, nice.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, let's jump on to what was after PBW? What were we gonna do after that?
TV show
We're
reviews.
gonna, Yeah, we're gonna do TV show reviews.
All right. Well, we're also gonna do the video games, right?
Oh, so yeah, let's do games and then do that.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay. You want to just jump into your game then?
Nah, I've been doing a lot of talking.
Okay. So I beat Stray over the weekend, and I really enjoyed the game. It was a lot of fun, and the reason why I wanted to bring it up was because the story was had um very similar like things to this manga I read a real while back. I think it's a manga I had mentioned to you guys like before we did the podcast or whatever, and you had like made fun of me. Um, but the story of Stray was that it's a post-apocalyptic world, and it is you have these things called, what are they called, Dan? I forgot what they're called.
Robots.
Spoilers.
No, these little so
The rat things. I don't know what they're called.
yeah.
I go
Okay.
to keep
So they
talking.
have these like little rat things, and what it ended up being was it was like this enzyme or whatever to break down
Jerks.
garbage. Yeah, Zerks. It was like this enzyme or fungal thing that would break down garbage, and it ended up mutating, and it kind of just like took over everything. Like anything that was organic, it kind of just destroyed. Um, and then it ended up destroying other material too. So now this reminded me of this manga called uh, Biomeat. Um, and so you, if you guys can see my screen here, um, this this manga was about the same thing, right? They created this organism here, bioengineered, and this organism would eat garbage. And when it ate the garbage, these little things on its back would keep growing until it would kind of like through osmosis, it would make more of itself.
Huh.
Right? So these things would grow, they would fall off and become more of these things. And then that's how it reproduced, right? And it would just keep growing and growing and growing. And so what eventually ended up happening, like the factory that housed these things, um, like there was a breach, these got out, and it was just like they ate anything that was organic. So like right, you see here, it's eating tree, and whatever, and it would eat humans, like anything organic it would eat and just keep reproducing and reproducing. And there was only certain ways that you can kill these things, one of them being like liquid nitrogen or like sub-zero freezing temperatures. But it was just a very interesting story. And they were doing that because of like food shortages and stuff like that, and that's why they bioengineered this
That
thing
sounds like a
called
really cool
biomeat.
manga, actually.
It was an amazing manga, and they would add like flavors to it to make it taste like pork or beef or chicken
Okay.
because the meat was tasteless. So then, like it escapes, kind of Japan becomes this post-apocalyptic world, or because they gotta quarantine as many things as they can and try to keep these things at bay with electric fences, and trying to find a way to destroy them and kind of bring life back to Japan. But it was a very cool post-apocalyptic manga, and this story with Stray, where the city that you're in is a walled city, and it was meant to house people until like whatever was affecting the outside would go away, and then the city can be reopened and like people can come back out. But humans ended up dying. They created these like robots to help them, and then like the robots became conscious later on, and then they were kind of trying to um, carry on the humans' will of like opening up the city and kind of like leaving, and they wanting to see the outside. But yeah, no. So I really loved the story from Stray, and it kind of reminded me again of this manga called Biomeat. Similar takes on like a post-apocalyptic world, which was really cool. But Stray was a lot of fun. Very enjoyable game
So, do you feel like it was worthy of being like at least nominated for Game of the Year?
because of its originality. Yes. It was a very original story. The game was pretty much you just trying to solve puzzles with a cat and a little robot. So it was just like it was very interesting. I had a lot of fun playing it when I started to get deep into it and you start to get deep into the story. And the robot is like collecting these things and gaining its memory. You later on you find out it's a human consciousness that was transferred into a robot and it forgot it was a human, and it was a lot of fun things throughout the story that really made it uh, pop. So yeah, no, I agree that it was I knew it wasn't gonna win. After I finished playing it, it wasn't gonna win. But as a contender, sure, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Definitely worth the
I don't know about
nomination.
that. I don't know about it
What?
being worthy being nominated. To be honest, like I feel like it was in there because like what else were you gonna put in there? Like
Maybe, but I don't know. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
yeah. The game. I
So,
mean, it was cool. I never finished the game. Yeah, it's it got to me. It got really boring really quick.
mm,
There was. I mean, for the most part, the game was fun. I never finished it. Maybe I'll go back to finishing it one day just because it's a fairly easy platinum.
yeah,
Just for that reason alone, I might go back to it. But I mean, for it's all right. Like I kind of feel like after a while, it's just like go here, get this thing, bring to this person, to then get this thing, bring to this person. That's really the whole game, you know.
yeah.
So it's like there is a story there, but I feel like it was a
You
slow
do have
burn.
to do a lot of errands, yes, and
Yeah,
and the errands involve like puzzles and stuff like that.
yeah,
Just the way that they had to be done required a specific way of doing it, and
yeah.
that's where I found the entertainment and
Which is fine, because I know there's a lot of people that really did like the game. But my thing is like I'm not saying this is the greatest game either, but I mean, I know it's very much liked. You have Grand Theft Auto, which, let's be real, it's kind of the same thing. Go here, do this for this person. Go
hmm
here, do this for this person. But there's cool stuff to do in between.
yeah, yeah,
Stray doesn't have that. In between, you're a cat, so you be a cat. Which
yeah.
is, if you like cats, that's great. I like cats, but at the same time, it's kind of like, all right, that's enough being a cat. What else can I do without doing these errands? It's like, oh, just be more of a cat.
Yeah,
So then it's
You
kind
could
of like,
take a
oh,
nap.
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
you
literally,
can.
yeah. You can take a
Yeah,
nap. You can
like
scratch
literally
things.
everything a cat could do. You could like rub
Yeah,
up against somebody so they could pet you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun. So
it was. I mean, it's not a bad game. Game of the year nomination. I don't know, but I mean, hey, it got there. They got enough. Hey, enough people liked it to get it nominated. At the end
yeah.
of the day, but
So shout out to
yeah, the game
Stray.
I've been playing. The game I've been playing, the true game of the year. Sports Story. It came out. It came out.
I didn't
I'm
see a
telling you.
score for that on OpenCritic. I was trying to find
Because
out.
it's shadow dropped, and I think very few people know. So I'm just spreading the word. I'm
Okay.
spreading the good word of Sports Story, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to hold your hands up high and praise to the almighty golf lords. We did get our sequel to Golf Story. We did get Sports Story, and it is phenomenal. There are a few bugs in there, but we're gonna look past those bugs. You got bugs in every religion, don't we? But we are here to worship Sports Story. It's the church of sports, and I'm gonna tell you a story. So with this game, it's amazing. I'm going out there, and I am. It's continuing from the last game. You're on vacation, and
Okay.
anytime I tell people about golf stories, like who cares? Oh, I never liked Mario Golf. This, that, and the other. Shut up, every one of you and all your opinions. Shut up. This game is phenomenal. So in Golf Story, it's just pure chaos. You're out there, you're playing golf, and then there's more things that happens. There's zombies that show up. There's like wizards.
Damn.
Yeah, there's
Zombies and wizards. My
yeah,
God.
there's zombies and wizards and stuff. And here we go. We go into the scene where they're going on vacation, and then while they're kind of like teaching you how to play and do stuff, or like the coach is like, okay, I need you to see if you could, get trained or whatever. And the coach is like, I need you to get me an orange juice. So you have to go get this man an orange juice, but you can't just get an orange juice. You have to like knock down this person's like sandcastle to get the orange. So that then you pass by this club that's like dug into the sand like King Arthur's sword, and nobody's strong enough to pull it out. So you have to get your stats up to get the sword, the club
The
out the
club out.
sand. And when you finally get it, you find out that the lifeguards are under attack by the pirates, and now you have to fight the pirates.
Jeez Louise, what is happening in this game?
Dude, that's why I'm telling people play Sports Story, play Golf Story.
This is like the a wrestling in a video game
Yeah, it's
with the
phenomenal.
Madness.
stories.
It's like literally anything could happen. So yeah, so I did that. The pirates basically all I did was I shot a cannon. I got in the wrong direction. I destroyed another sandcastle, and the pirates were like, "Hey, you're pretty cool. Why don't you join the pirates?" I'm like, "Nah."
I will
And then it
join
just
if
moves
I'm the
on. I
king of the
haven't seen the pirates
pirates.
since. Yeah, no, I haven't seen them since. But it's crazy. I remember the last game there was a werewolf that popped up at this old folks home, and in this one it's just like so far it's like I got that club. I went to this other golf course where I'm trying to figure out what's going on. There's this guy who's standing by a statue and he's like, "Oh, you're the detective that solved the mystery." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I am. What do you need? What's going on?" I'm trying to figure out who is
You're a
selling.
detective now?
Yeah. So
Okay.
then I'm trying to figure out who's selling the golf course. And in doing that, I found out that they sold it to the Yakuza. So I have to figure out, all right, why is the Yakuza trying to do all this? And then I find this other witch lady who's been holding these birds hostage with the Yakuza. And I was like, why are you doing that? So now I own a plot of the land and I have to figure out what's
All
going on.
this from going to get a cup of orange juice?
Bro, I'm only like at the second part of the game. Like I haven't even
Did you
like
bring the guy back the orange juice
oh,
yet?
I got
Or
it
is
for
that
him, yeah.
good? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got
I
it for
thought
him. I
you were
got him the
still
orange
trying to
juice.
do that. I
No,
thought
I
like
got
the
it for
game
him.
was gonna end and you're like, here's your orange juice. Like, what took you so long?
Yeah, no,
Well,
no,
like
it's great. Dude, like this last one, right before I hopped on, I was playing the game a little bit more. I'm in the mines now, and
the
then you have like there's this
mines.
feud between like the scientists and the miners, and they're just trying to get the train working so we can get the queen back so she could watch the cricket match. But the prisoner escaped, and now we have to get the caveman dude to stop the prisoner. It's just phenomenal. Like I, I love this game.
It's like a domino effect. Everything just makes a bunch of other stuff happen. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's literally all it is. Yeah, it's
That's
phenomenal. I
wild.
recommend. I'm sure you can find Golf Story really cheap on Nintendo Switch at this point.
No.
I've been recommending this game for years. I still very much highly recommend it. At the core, it is a very good golf game.
Yeah.
People are, oh, golf games suck. Trust me, it's a good golf game and has a hilarious story. It's developed by Sidebar Games. It's published by what's it called? Check a look.
Devolver Digital.
Devolver Digital. Look at this memory. Look at the memory on this guy today. You
I'm
know.
scared.
you better watch out.
Scared.
Tomorrow, he gonna have amnesia. You're not gonna
My
remember
brain is
nothing.
just not gonna be there tomorrow.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Oh man, but no, I highly recommend play Sports Story. But do play Golf Story first because this does continue the story.
Okay.
But no, great game. I'm having a great time with it. I'm having an amazing time with it. Spread the word.
Nice, nice, nice. That sounds great, man. All right, Disco, you wanted to discuss a show or two, so let's jump into that.
Yeah. Today, I wanted to mention a show that I didn't even know was coming out. Surprised me. It came out like a week or two ago. And the show's called Kindred
Mhm.
on Hulu. It's a book written by Octavia E. Butler, and I actually read it in college, and I think Eslam
Same.
said he did too.
I did.
So that's kind of what drew me in more into the show because I don't
Time
think I would.
travel and slavery
Yeah, I don't think
in
I
a
would have picked it
book.
up if it wasn't for school
Yeah.
or if I had read it already. I don't know if I would have been drawn to the show, but after reading it and after watching it, I found that I actually really enjoyed the show. And like Eslam said, it's about time travel and slavery. This
Yeah.
young black woman named Dana finds out that she can time travel randomly back in time to this plantation that her ancestors used to own.
Yeah.
And being that
Well,
she's black, it's
ancestor
like,
owned and were slaves in. Um so
yeah,
so she I feel like this was like a grandfather paradox thing where she had to travel back in time so she can be born.
Hmm.
Um
yeah. So she kept getting sucked back into the past every time her ancestor Rufus was in danger, about to die. And
yeah.
so she kept like what happened in present, it felt like only a couple hours or minutes like apart, but in the past, like time works different. So it would, she'd just keep getting sucked into the past. And
It's kind of like a John
eventually,
Reese Terminator situation where
yeah,
John
and
Connor has to send him back so that John Connor
being
can be born.
yeah,
Yeah.
being that she's black, it's just not the best situation for her.
Oh yeah.
She gets treated as a slave, she gets whipped, she gets treated,
Mhm.
like crap pretty much throughout the whole season. And but what's interesting about it is one time that she goes back, she ends up bringing
Her
in the
husband.
book it's her husband. In the show
Yeah.
it actually just turns out to be a dude that she kind of hooks up with. She just met
Oh,
like
okay.
literally in the show. And I wanted to mention that. And I actually think that was a good little change because it kind of gives them more room to work with, gives more uh, more content for the show because it allows him to be kind of like a new character. I think they gave him like a drug addiction issue towards the end, and like you kind of learn more about
Interesting.
his family, and then it's also pretty cool because they go into Dana's family as well, and you kind of learn about her family in the present, and then also when she goes to the past, you learn about her like ancestors, and it's just what I really enjoyed about the show was just seeing her interact with the past like
Yeah.
people. The disconnect is just huge, and being that we're like in 2022, almost close to 2023, very very progressive, even though we're not where we want to be with like the justice movement, like the social equality. We have made a lot of progress, and you can tell from the show because when she goes back, it's like she's like her all her rights are taken away, and she's just kind
Yeah.
of like taken aback, and she wants to do so much good, and you see throughout the show like everything, even though her intentions are good, she ends up really like getting all the other slaves in trouble, and to a point where they like turn on her and just like she's a demon. She keeps disappearing and coming back, and she keeps getting us in trouble, and all this. How do you explain that to somebody from like the 20s or 30s? Like this woman just keeps kind of slipping through time and coming back, and I really enjoyed the show, and like I said, they took some liberties, but I thought they were totally worth it in the end. Um, Kind of like Interview with the Vampire, the liberties they took were well due, and they
So I
brought.
haven't seen
pu-
the show yet, but I don't know if I'm okay with them replacing her husband with some random dude she just hooked up with, because the relationship with her husband and then them going, her bringing accidentally bringing him back, there was this dynamic of, okay, so I'll play your slave master so I can protect you as much as I can, and then he at some point he made them let her sleep in his room so that he can keep an eye on her and try to keep her as safe as possible. And there was a very interesting dynamic of him going back and seeing how they were treated as well. And I don't know, so there's going to be a second season, I'm guessing.
I they left room for it. They definitely there should be.
How did the
So
season end?
pretty much, they did still have that dynamic where he was like, I need to protect her. I own her technically.
Yeah.
So, at least in the eyes of the people
Well,
from
it's
the
just
past,
the
but
people in the
for me it
past.
worked because it kind of like in my head I was thinking like, dang, he's going so extra for this chick he just met a couple days ago. But then again, I was trying to think from his perspective. It's like he just found out that there's time travel because
Yeah.
in the show she actually like teleported right in front of him, so he got to
Yeah.
see her just blip out of existence,
Yeah.
like what it seemed like. And so I think that's what kept him drawn in more. But once he got taken back as well, it became real for him, and so
Yeah.
he was just like, I'm going to help you because I need you. But at the same time, you could see that he did not want to leave her side because he did not want to get left behind. And
Yeah.
she kind of, in her own world was just like, I need to help these slaves. I need to help my
If I
family. And
if I
it kind of
remember
like,
correctly, did she actually leave her husband once in back then?
I believe they did in the book. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
For some reason I feel like she left him because she can't control the time travel, so she just blips out, and then she was like just trying to get back to him as fast as she could. But
Yeah.
also there was the
And
dynamic of her husband in the book being like older than her, like he was way older than her, which helped
yeah.
when they went back into slavery, like the older white man. Then you have the younger black female as their slave or whatever. I don't know. I gotta watch the show. I really, really loved the book. It was an amazing, obviously time travel. I love time travel, and then just adding that dynamic of um, slavery into it from the perspective of like, okay, this is your ancestor. And I feel like, if I remember correctly, and if sorry if someone's listening and I'm getting this wrong from the book, but she kind of had to screw over her slave ancestor so she could be born. Like she had to make sure Rufus like fucked her slave ancestor because that was the only way she gets born. And I remember specifically that lady like did not like Rufus. She tried to stay away from him as much as he can, and Rufus like loved her. and he was trying to have sex with her, and
the
she was just like,
the
"Listen, lady, if you don't, I'm not gonna be
yeah
born." So, um,
that
which is like,
that's I don't they're I think that's gonna be in a second season if they get there because
yeah,
it ended off where she actually did leaving Kev. She did leave Kev back
yeah,
there, and she's like feeling super guilty. And Kev's sister is like at her house too because the neighbors called. Actually, she called the cops because Kev has been acting weird because she met Dana and
yeah.
he had like a drug addiction, so she's like super concerned and she's afraid that he's like relapsing again. So she called the cops to go to Dana's house, and the neighbors already been having a lot of trouble. So when the cops came, they came out and just made this huge scene. And Dana is just in there. She came back from a time blip and she got whipped. So there's hella blood all over her, and everything is just kind of wild at the end. And she's
Spoilers.
just
Did she come back and lose her arm in the wall yet?
no, no, no,
Okay.
no. That's probably gonna be next
Because I
season. It
remember
gets
that, like,
crazy. It
that was
gets real
very
crazy.
vivid part. I think
It
that's how
sounds
the
like a
book
really
started.
interesting story. I'm like, wouldn't
Yeah.
I'm mad I didn't read this. Like,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a
like it
great
sounds
So
book.
fun.
I highly recommend reading the book first
No.
if you
So
have
they're
time.
leaving off where I think Kevin's stuck there, and I think second season is going
Okay.
to lead to where you just mentioned, where she
Okay.
has to go back and then all that like craziness towards the end, because that was more towards the end of the book, and so yeah, it's going to be pretty juicy if they get that
Yeah.
second season. I hope they do.
I definitely
Um,
gotta watch the show now.
yeah, this show, it's like I said, it's not like exactly pure to the text, but the liberties they did take were amazing, and
Okay.
it's funny seeing Kev interact with the olden time people because he has these all like modern philosophies, and he's as he's talking, they're like, "Oh, so you're some sort of libertine," and he's like, "What's a libertine?" And then they start laughing like, I didn't even know what a libertine is. I had to Google it. Apparently, it's just like liberal like type of
Yeah.
like mentality, but it was just fun. It was a fun
Oh, you
show,
actually think
crazy
they're
concept.
people? Ho ho ho.
Yeah, that whole stuff.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, but it's just like that's really how time was, and that's
Yeah,
it
obviously,
gets me
yeah.
going. Like it's just like wow, that really was a thing back then. And so if you like that kind of contrast and modern day and that past crazy sci-fi thriller drama, I would call it, I guess. Definitely check this show out. I recommend it. There's still so much more to come from the books, at least. Hopefully, they transfer over to the next season. And
Mhm.
if there is one, I hope there is one. Check it out.
Yeah, yeah,
No, sounds
definitely.
good.
Kindred on
Go
Hulu.
check out the book too, please. It was a
Yeah,
phenomenal book to read.
by Octavia E. Butler. Let me
Mhm.
also see if I can shout out the cast because they did pretty good.
One
Kindred
thing I wanted to
cast.
say real quick: the closest thing I have to context for this, I don't know if you guys remember, is the episode of Chappelle's Show where the player haters.
Yeah,
Do you remember the
yeah.
player haters where they went
Yes,
back
yes.
in time and they just started talking shit to the slavers?
Yeah.
Like that's the once you said it, I was like, oh, Chappelle Show episode. I remember
Yeah.
that. It sounds
That's
nothing
funny.
like this, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the closest I have.
So Mallory Johnson played Dana. Shout out to her. She really brings life to that character. Micah Stock played Kevin. I at first I didn't really like Kevin, but I kind of like grew to like him towards the end because he's really putting himself out there for this woman he just met, and it kind of just grabs me. Some people might say it's a little too much, but I don't know. He got me. Ryan Quanten, he's plays Jason in True Blood. He plays the father in this show. He does really good with like the racist stuff, and he just has that kind of like old colonial look to him. He did really well. And the clash between him and his wife, Gail Rankin, uh, played Margaret Whalen. It was really nice seeing them kind of seeing what marriages looked like back then and how he just would
Yeah.
dismiss her and totally just dismiss his own son and to be pissed off at him and just it's crazy how times were back then. But shout out to them. They did amazing. Rufus was played by David Alexander. Yeah. So shout out to them. Check out Kindred on Hulu. Uh, that's it for me. Definitely an
Nice,
awesome
nice.
show.
Did you want to talk about the other one, or are you gonna save it for next week?
You trying to kill them? Trying to murder
Yeah,
the
I know.
man?
Yeah, I know,
Jesus.
right?
Yeah, I'll talk about Allison.
Okay.
Well, I'll make it pretty quick, like 5 minutes though. My throat is kind of killing me.
Careful
But
with spoilers. I do want to finish season one, so careful with
well, never
spoilers.
mind then.
Yeah, okay. We'll save it for next week then.
I could literally. I have to go pee anyway. If you want to talk about it, I could just dip.
It's fine. Um,
Okay.
All
I
right.
mean, are you gonna watch it by anytime soon?
Yeah,
Because I
I'm
do
not gonna
want to
watch it
talk about
anytime
this
soon.
show.
That's why I'm saying, like, you might as well talk about it because I don't know
Yeah,
when I'm gonna
walk
watch.
away then real quick.
Yeah,
I'll
I have to
just
Okay.
go
make
pee.
I'm
maybe
I'll
just
just
5
gonna turn
minutes.
him
I'll
off.
mute.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. And next up, the next show I want to talk about is Alice in Borderland. It actually just came out a few days ago, and it's season 2, long awaited. I ended up not watching it because I didn't think it was going to get another season, but then 2 years later it got one, so I ended up binge watching the whole thing. And I it had a lot of kind of similarities to me to Squid Games. I don't know which one came out first, but in the sense of like they're both kind of like games that you have to play against other people and win or die, and your
Hmm.
life is at stake. But what separated this for me was that I liked that the games kind of had the way they organized the games. They based it off like cards and like suits, and how there's different suits like spades, hearts, diamond, and all that, and then the difficulty of the game would be how high the number is, or if it's in a face card. And so the first season was actually just the numbers and kind of introduce you to the basics of the game, and you could see how heart games could be really tear you apart. Really, because if you go in with your best friends like the main character did, the heart games can you possibly might have to kill them. So
Yeah.
that's why it's called heart games. So you that's what ended up having happening to the main character
Is this a
Arisu.
Korean show also or Japanese?
I want to say no, it's Japanese.
Let me look
They're
it up.
in Tokyo. Um, So yeah, I love the games, especially the heart games. That one really got me. It made me think, what if it was us, Los Wise Guys, or Los Wise Guys and Chris and Jonathan. Uh,
Yeah.
would we be able to choose one of us to to live? Because that's pretty much what they did. They
Yeah.
sacrificed themselves and were just like, Arisu, if anyone's gonna make it, it's you. And it was kind of like this really special moment between them, because they were really the heart game really got to them. They were starting to turn on each other, but then at the end they were just like, "What are we doing?" And so it had little moments like that I thought were really cool. And spade games were physical games. You would have to like run around, and like there'd be a person trying to like that's it kind of technically, and like shooting at you, trying to kill you. Um, but the second season where they stepped up the ante, they got to the face cards, and so it was the second season was really insane. The games just got crazier. I loved how they kind of separated the games between all the characters they amassed in the first season. So you
Hmm.
got it wasn't just Arisu jumping in all these games and getting banged up and coming out and just going like fucking like a madman, just going through game. They kind of spread it out so you could still see the games, but through other people's eyes. And there was a decent amount of characters, but towards the end, I was like really attached to them. And there was a moment, spoilers, where like almost all of them died or were close to death, and I was just like, it really made me feel like Game of Thrones, the Red Party,
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever it's
The
called,
Red
where
Wedding.
everybody just like died. I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
All my favorite characters are dead. It's like I had that feeling, and I was just watching them die in front of me, and I was like, no, what's going on here? Um, but it ended up getting really trippy at the end in the last game. It was pretty cool. I love the games too. They're like kind of tricky, kind of easy. Some of them like you have to really think about it, or some of them it's like it's the simplest thing that you're just overthinking, and it's like damn, why did I overthink? Especially with this last one, the last game, the Queen of Hearts. He uh he got to this queen, and she had to play cricket or some game like that. I don't think it's cricket. It's one of those types of games where it's like a mallet and you have to hit it through like a horseshoe type thing. But anyway,
um. Yeah, I forgot what that's called.
yeah.
It's not
So she,
cricket.
it's something with a Q, I think. Anyway, so the
Croquet.
object, the
Okay.
object of the game was to just finish 3 rounds, to finish the game. But after the second round, she kind of like put him in these crazy ass genjutsus, uh, illusions,
Oh,
for
okay.
people that
Genjutsu.
aren't like, yeah, genjutsus. Um, so he it got trippy at that point because they kind of led us into believing like, oh, it's this, but then it was just like, oh no, it's a genjutsu, and then it's like it's this. He's like, it made you think like he was like just a crazy person in a hospital, but that was actually just a genjutsu, and then it switched out to like
Genjutsu, bro. You're killing me.
genjutsu. I keep saying it wrong.
Trying to say
Genjutsu.
it's like the GIF and GIF thing. No, this one is actually Genjutsu.
It's genjutsu. um, yeah, so he kind of like gets demoralized in that genjutsu, and he ends up just kind of the main character gets kind of manic throughout the episodes, especially because of all the like trauma and turmoil. He'll just shut down and lay down on the street, like one of those types of things. So he kind of gets to that point. The queen kind of gets him and breaks him down with these illusions, and it comes up to this one chick that he fell in love with and he promised to protect forever. So she kind of like sacrifices herself, like because she's like telling him to get up, get up, get up, and like
Yeah.
he's just done. He doesn't. He's been through so much, and at the end, like even though he's at the end, he's just like, I lost everything though to get here. So it's like, what? I don't. What is the point? And so she kind of like fake kills herself. She like cuts herself to um to get him to get up. So it's like, you said you protect me, and now it's like, so he ends up getting back together, and this act of love, like I guess affects the queen because she decides to like kind of put down the genjutsus, and
Hmm.
she allows him to actually finish the last game. And granted, it took like what looked like 7 hours. They actually finished it, and he won the game
Nice.
in the end. And but that's not the crazy part. The that was just, I mean, I guess that's the bulk of it. But there was a twist at the end. They ended up going, once he completed it, anybody that was still alive, even if you were on the brink of like death, as long as you're alive, you got to choose. Do you want to remain in Borderlands and you can live there permanently without like a visa, and you don't have to like play the games, you just live there, I guess. Or you can go, you could decline it, and they didn't say what happens if you decline it. So some accepted, some declined, and then the people that declined went back to uh real world, regular world, or what we think is real world, because it could just be another illusion. Who knows? But it they go back to like the first scene that the show started on, where it's like them just hanging on the block, and then they jump into the subway and hide in a bathroom. That's the point when everybody disappeared and the show started. They were in Borderlands,
Mm.
but they kind of went back to that original point and continued. Life just continued.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. Okay.
but when
It's
they were
kind of like a
outside,
Matrix type shit.
yeah, but when they were outside, you could see that all the characters that were in the show were in that kind of like crosswalk intersection. Just they didn't know each other,
Hmm.
and then a meteor comes and like hits the building that was right next to them, and all this debris falls on them, and they end up getting all these injuries that mimicked all the injuries they got in Borderlands. That I at least I noticed that.
Oh,
So there's
interesting.
one chick that like lost her leg and she ended up losing her leg in real life, and
Hmm.
one dude like got his eye messed up and he ended up getting his eye messed up in the real life. And so it made you think. It was like making me think at the end, like what is really happening. And then
Yeah.
there was like a final scene where there was like a deck of 52 cards. All the 52 like flew away, and then they zoomed in on a Joker card, and it made me think like, is there one more game? Is
Season
there
three.
like
Okay.
one last game they have to beat or something for season 3, or is is it just like a joke? Is it the Joker just
Mm.
signifying a joke? Like you think you're in, real life, but you're just in this Matrix type reality, and you think it's real life. And so I really like that last scene because it made me think. It's just like I really still don't even know what's happening, and they could just leave it there, or they could keep it going. And it's just I loved how they ended that. On top of me loving the games, I didn't even talk about all the games I wanted to, but it's a amazing, amazing show, I thought. And really, if you like the Squid Games or that type of like fight for your life type of survival games type of show, this is definitely that show for you.
I like how I like how they like the Korean Squid Games and like this thing is all about games that are based on you winning to keep your life or you die. It's just I feel like Battle Royale, like the manga, like really made that very popular, and then you had like the things that came off of that, which was like the Hunger Games and things like that. People love, and it's like war simulation, right? It's kind of like survival war simulation that for some people, for some reason, people really are attracted to. Um, but it very cool. It sounded very interesting. I might actually give the show a shot at this point because I've been seeing it for a while on Netflix, and I was just like, I don't feel like watching this, but you made it sound interesting enough for me to go check it out. So
So
I
from
might
what
go
I've
do
seen,
that.
it's definitely a good show. Obviously, I don't know
Yeah.
what Disco was saying. Thank you for sparing me. But yeah, no, I want to finish season one. My only issue is like I'm like one or two episodes away, and I feel like it hit a point where it's just like I lost interest in it towards the end. So
It
I'm
I
hoping
could
it
see
picks up.
that, but at the end of the season one, they kind of up the ante and kind of
Okay,
like spice it up a little more.
okay, yeah, because I do want to see it. Yeah, man. But you're right. Eslam with the battle royale stuff. And all the credit in the world to pro wrestling,
Yeah.
battle
Let's get
royals
into
and royal rumbles.
yeah, let's get into some final thoughts. Disco, why don't you give us your final thoughts so we can get out of here?
Final thoughts, man. It's been like 2 weeks since I've been on an episode. I
Oh, that's
like
right. Yeah.
it's I've been feeling it. That second week, I was like, I feel like I missed something this week. I
Yeah.
was like, I didn't do something, and I've been doing it ever since
For
COVID.
old
So
time's sake, why don't you tell us
practically,
what final thoughts are?
final thoughts are the thoughts that you have when you're in your final thought moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, what about you?
Um, I recently saw a documentary that I found was really interesting. It spawned from like this thing I saw on Twitter,
Hmm.
where it was this guy asking this young kid, it was African American kid, it was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" It was in black and white, and this young kid who had a freaking nail hole in his foot was taking. He was like maybe 8 years old, and he was taking care of his two like little 4 year old sisters. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he was talking about his mom works out in the field all day, and she comes home with like maybe like $5. I was like, I looked it up, and it's this documentary called Harvest of Shame. I found it on YouTube, and they released it back in 1960, whatever, on Thanksgiving Day. And I
Wow.
was like, all right, this is interesting. And it's just like, hey, all you guys who are eating all this food for Thanksgiving, this is where your food comes from. Enjoy this documentary. And shit got real. I was like, it was
Nice.
a really interesting documentary where they break down like how migrant workers they literally
Mm.
just follow like the crops from the south in Florida all the
Hmm.
way up to the east coast, and they're just trying to make whatever money they can, and the kids try to find schools wherever they can in the meantime, and you see
Yeah.
like different walks of life how you do that, and then you have immigrants that come in and they're doing the same thing, and just see how everything went through in the 60s, and it's still similar to how it's done now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a sad documentary, man, where they do the breakdown. At one point, they ask one of the farmers, like, "Hey, what do you think about the people?" And then the farmers was like, "Oh, they love this. They love treating like this. They love going out to the fields and working hard." And I was like, "Man, I want to fucking punch this dude in the face."
Yeah.
I was like such a dick, but
It's like,
I
are you
highly recommend
serious right
that
now?
documentary. Yeah, I
What's it
highly
called
recommend
again?
that documentary. Harvest of Shame. It's like an
Harvest of
hour
Shame. I
long.
want
It's
to
on
check that.
YouTube. Yeah, it's a very informative documentary.
Speaking of documentaries, I actually recently saw a good documentary on Netflix too. It was called Last Breath. It's about
You want to just
each
turn your
Kind
mic?
of sound off for me. Yeah.
I think your mic is turned a different way where it's muffling the sound.
Yeah.
about
Yeah, there you go.
now. So I had a documentary. I saw a documentary recently on Netflix. It was called Last Breath, and it's about deep sea diving.
Mm.
And the way they delivered that documentary was amazing. I don't want to spoil it, but they tell such a really good story while also like enlightening you to the
Nice.
dangers and the craziness that they have to do to go down there. These
What's it
Mm.
called?
divers, last breath. These divers go for like a month at a time, and they have to like um, just do maintenance on the machines that are down all at the bottom of the
Mm.
sea. And so it's like you see them describing their experience, and then eventually something happens where there's a ship that kind of regulates all the water, and so the waves, and so there was a storm or something, and all the computers went off, and so there was no they couldn't regulate the ship, so the ship started sailing away, like floating away, and pulling on this life tube that was going to one of the deep sea divers. And so I'm just gonna leave it at that, but it gets
Mm.
crazy, and you people die, people don't die, it gets crazy. Just them describing their experience and the passion for it, and just like the story they built, it made me fear the sea even more. And I already hated it. It's just the
Yeah.
unknown and all the craziness
Oh
that
yeah,
I saw in that show was just madness. And
that's where the pirates come from.
yeah, so check out Last Breath. Definitely check that out. Sorry to cut you off, Aslam. Back to your final thoughts.
Oh,
What
I hadn't
documentary are
start.
you watching?
I hadn't started my final thoughts yet. No documentaries for me. I enjoy documentary here and there, but I'm usually not a fan of documentaries. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have like I've watched a couple things, nothing really that important. But yeah, I don't really got much to say. Final thoughts. I said everything. I kind of was just want to, not try to remember any more things so my brain doesn't explode.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to the Los Wise Guys podcast. If you like what you hear, follow us on social media. Yeah, there. I forgot to click the buttons.
Oh,
Follow
there
us
you
on
go. You're
social
forgetting
media.
things. There you go.
Thank God I'm back at it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us immensely. Share our channel with your friends. Comment below. Let us know what you think about all the crazy wrestling stuff Dan showed us. Um, Tell us what you think about Kindred. Tell us what you think about Alice in Borderlands. We love hearing from everybody. And
Tell us
then go
about
check out
Stray
the
and
Los.
the other game I like that I forgot what it's called right now, so I'm
Yes.
buying for Time Sports Story.
Yeah. Go check out the Los Wise Guys website. I have officially updated LWGFVGL 2022 scores. And then I also have it linked to the new LWGFVGL 2023. So go check out all the games we picked. Follow us and check out the game league as we go through the year.
Pepper Brew
Um,
Handle Media.
yeah. Fractured
BPMH.
Minds. Fractured Mind Productions. Fractured Mind Gaming, actually.
BHM.
Yeah, look at that. I already forgot. Thank you for listening. Have a great week.